some kids, it's usually when I say to them, okay, so where is the South Pole? Is it there or there? But I'm not going to start that tonight because I'm sure you all know where it is. So where is the South Pole? Do we? Blank faces, okay, let's get on with it. So this is me in Antarctica. I'm going to talk to you about why I was there, what I did while I was there as well. Okay, so just some facts about Antarctica, just to start off with. I'm sure you all know where it is, I'm sure you know how cold it is. Let's just go through some of those now. So it's the driest, coldest and windiest place on Earth. It doesn't sound like the sort of place you want to go to, really. When I heard that, I didn't really want to go, to be honest. It's in the middle of summer, it's light all day, 24-hour sunlight. And in the winter, it's complete darkness. I was there in the summer, I had to deal with 24-hour sunlight, and that's a real struggle. There's active volcanoes, a bit of a random fact, but in case anybody didn't know that. And it's nearly twice as big as Australia, so let's get this interactive. Who's been to Australia? Hands up who's been to Australia? Okay, so that's all tells you the sort of size we're talking about, okay? I usually say now to the kids, did I see any penguins? Did I see any penguins? No. I did see penguins. Yes. Did I see any polar bears? No. Okay, we've all learned something already, so I'll teach that at the end. Okay, so it's called the International Scott Centenary Expedition. So we've all heard of Captain Scott. He was part of an expedition to go to Antarctica 100 years ago. And this is him with his 5-man team at the South Pole. So, 100 years later, Henry Evans, myself, and my very experienced polar guide, Jeff Summers. In the tent, you've got the young, she's I think 23-year-old scientist. Oh, the South Pole, I love it. Other side, 63-year-old man who's been here 7 times before and he's sort of used to the conditions. So we both mixed really, really well, and we never argued once. That's a question I get asked quite a lot. We skied the last 2 degrees to the South Pole, so that's a distance of 120 miles, 225 kilometres. And so we were there to promote the legacy of Captain Scott. So I was blogging on the Daily Telegraph website, had a scientific project going, and I'll talk to you about that as we go along. So, the turnover expedition, I could stand here and talk to you for hours about this expedition, but we're quite limited on time. If you find this fascinating, go back, read his journals, type in on Google, and try and learn more about the Centenary. This guy started polar history as we know it today. So, his expedition, as impressive a group of scientists as it ever been on a polar expedition. So, massive group of scientists, okay? Some of them were from the NBA. And between them, they brought back over 400 new to science, 400 new species, okay, and 2,000 species. That just tells you it's a massive scientific expedition, and that's the sort of findings that they had. And this is 2 of the guys here working, and as soon as they got there, they built a massive hut, lived in that for 2 years, really cramped conditions. This is Scott's birthday. You can really see the real camaraderie of the group. So, which one's Captain Scott there? Anyone? Yeah. That one isn't there. So can anyone tell me where Bowers is? Anyone know which one is Bowers? Colin, do you want to tell me which one is Bowers?
Well, it would be the chap with the big nose.
Exactly, there we go. Well done. Okay. So my involvement with this, it's a Daily Telegraph competition that I applied for. It was in my 2nd year at university at the time, in Plymouth. And there was over 300 entries. And I was the youngest candidate that was chosen in the final 10. So I turned up at the first selection event, all these mature people, and I thought, let's have the time of my life. So we had Royal Navy selection events. So here we've got it's a stretcher race, each of us running in Cornwall. I'm not smiling, it's absolutely horrendous. This was the officer training that we did. So lots of selection events, psychological, they really messed your mind up, they put you in an environment where you were not comfortable at all, and they saw how you reacted. And then they chose the final 4, took us to northern Norway, which might sound like a holiday, but it really wasn't. We spent 2 weeks in the snow, building igloos, that's part of the holiday, putting up tents, learning how to survive in a polar environment. And then at the end of 2011, they actually announced a winner. Okay, so this is me in Norway, so we're just practicing. This is my first time cross-country skiing. I fell over right off this photo actually, so I'm quite glad that was taken now. As you can see, I'm loving the experience, I really am. So to go to the South Pole, you have to do some training. And so I was putting a sledge that was effectively the weight of my younger brother for 2 weeks, okay? So to get physically fit. And so this is me running the Plymouth Half Marathon, in a penguin costume, of course. I've told you find penguins at the South Pole, so why not get a penguin costume? This is my friend who came down from Essex to join me. Once again, fantastic day. Had lots of Jenny Babies from kids. It was amazing. This is us at the final selection event, the training in the Lake District with my guys, and I wasn't always wearing the penguin costume, just to explain. But this is just a quite good photo shoot, putting tyres across the moors. So, Antarctica. So, what on earth would you eat? And just to explain, I've got lots of props at the front here. So if you have time at the end or during the break, just come and have a little look, come and have a fiddle. I want to see everyone wearing this mask. That'd be quite good. And if one of you is brave enough to put the penguin costume on, could quite a good photo for the grandparents or whatever. Okay. So this is us. We had a week in Antarctica before we left, and this is cheese, salami, and flapjack, and that was our main diet. So here we go. 3 kilograms of cheese each. Yes, 3 kilograms of cheese each. 3 kilograms of salami each, okay? And 4 kilos of flapjack each. And this is one that I didn't eat, one of the flapjacks. So if anyone want to taste, you're very welcome. So that was our week preparing the kit, preparing all the sledges. And so I went there to explore. So I apologise about cutting. I'm quite proud of that personally, but I'm sure you can do another better job. This is my favourite photo out of the whole expedition. This is us. We had a 5-hour flight from base camp, okay, to the start, and I am terrified. The pilot's about to leave. I'm saying, boy, don't go, don't leave us. This is all our kit here, all the fuel, found messes on the skis. This is it. There's no turning back now. This really is about to happen. The pilot's thinking what a wimp I am, but I couldn't care. I was scared. So I'm going to try and set the scene for you. Okay, 120 nautical miles, and minus 35 degrees Celsius, 24-hour sunlight, 9,000 feet high. Not many people know that, okay? The place where I went to Antarctica, that's on a plateau, 9,000 feet high. Well, we were putting 65 kilogram sledges. So as I said, I basically pulled my younger brother to the South Pole. Obviously he wasn't there, but he tells his friends he was. So. And we were skiing for 7 hours a day. So the routine was, I'd always leave the first 2 hours, Jeff the next 2 hours, I do an hour, he does an hour, I do half an hour, he does half an hour. And that last half an hour was always the hardest. That when I was really struggling. And just to explain, I had hallucinations, and after about day 7, I saw a sausage baguette in the sky. And I promise you this, the sausage baguette was in the sky. Okay, you might laugh, I promise you, okay? And it was dripping mustard, and I hate mustard. And it tortured me for a whole week, and it was there. I saw a London bus on the horizon, honestly, it was real. And I had 3 mice for a whole week. These 3 mice were under my skis, and they drove me mental. Mental, they were always there, the sound of the skis, but they kind of became my friends, these mice, which just sounds odd, but I haven't seen them since, don't worry, these things have been talked to you. Yeah, my carer's outside of here. So we were sponsored by the NBA. The NBA very kindly gave us a fantastic GoPro. It's got some really good footage, which I'm going to show you in a minute. This is it in the plane, I'm looking quite retro, do you agree? If anyone wants to try the glasses, they're right here. So that's the NBA. So if you do see the article, it's in the NBA News next month. And that's right, go next month, isn't it? Yeah. So, we had a video. So everyone sit back and relax and sort of try and warm you up a bit. I'm sure you're all feeling pretty cold now. And this is it's called my show reel. I took hours and hours of footage and I've crammed it all into 3 minutes just to show you what it was like.
Welcome to Antarctica! Here we go. Proper training now.
Spend the next couple of days preparing the kit, collecting all the food and the fuel, getting on sleds, and then we'll get flown out to the last 2 degrees, 140 miles from the South Pole, and we start our trek.
So ready to go?
I certainly am ready. Always ready. his men achieved. One journey they had, books with significant scientific findings that they discovered.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo!
January 2013, which is day 10.
So it's the end of day 13, and we're just 12 miles from the pole, so we're almost there. Excited to get there, Jeff? No. Jeff can't wait for a shower and some new people to talk to, that's what I think.
89 degrees, 38 minutes, decimal 78.
Let's get to day 14. And we're almost at the pole.
There I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Scott Amundsen Base at the South Pole, the ISCE mission complete.
So the ISCE team, the veterans of just have made it to the South Pole.
Temperature is a mere -25. Henry Evans, where are you?
Good afternoon, Jack. Always runs up with you.
Trying to contact the South Pole. Going to talk to our solar explorer Victor. We've made contact. Excellent. That's come before 7 o'clock.
That snow shower is probably the worst part of the whole trip. I couldn't feel my feet for a whole hour. And we actually thought I got frostbite, so it was actually quite serious, but I managed to get away with it. And that was my New Year's Day, that snow shower. So the weirdest New Year's Day I'll ever had. Did I see any polar bears? No. Sorry, that wasn't that. Did I see any polar bears? No. Okay. So I've just got some photos now to finish it off. This is Christmas. And just to explain, my guide, he hates Christmas, okay? But I love Christmas, so I made sure he wore a Santa hat all day. He refused to work for the photo. But we had a Christmas cake, some stuff for my family, and definitely the weirdest Christmas of my life. This was day 3. Very emotional. I had Christmas cards and things I opened. New Year's Day was very, very weird. To wake up and it was a new year, but I was next to a 63-year-old man and we still had 100 miles to go. It was very, very strange, but fantastic day. Just did some carving with it when we got back to base camp. This is me after the snow shower. We generally thought I'd hurt myself. We thought, what have we done? We were complete idiots, but it was all fine. My feet are okay, but some fantastic footage. I laugh whenever I see it. So when I was there, I was doing a scientific experiment. So Captain Scott, he went there, massive group of scientists, let's do some science. So I thought the Centenary, got to try and get a project involved. So I spoke to the British Antarctic Survey and they gave me a very, very simple project. Collecting snow samples every 3 miles along the 120-mile traverse. This is what I did every 3 miles, about every 2 hours we stopped. I collected so we've got the time, the GPS, the temperature, wind speed, wind direction, cloud cover and the weather conditions. And when I got back in the tent, I made sure I copied everything over. These are the snow samples here, got 40 of those, and that's Christmas Day. So they'll be analysed in March, in the next couple of weeks, they'll be stable isotopes. So the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And the levels of those will basically tell you that the climate, that's what it will tell you, by the temperature. These will be then compared to previous data sets that we've got over the past sort of 30, 40 years, and then we'll be able to see how the climate is changing over the period. So it's a very simple project, but it could get some quite big findings. So this is just something I show to schools, and it might make you laugh, but it is actually true, okay? Sometimes I was happy and sometimes I was sad. You go through these mood swings for the 2 weeks, having these hallucinations, and with this bloke who I don't really know, it's a really strange environment, okay? This is me when I was happy, which is most of the time. I was happy most of the time. This is what I look like. Loving it. So we just spent 7 hours skiing. It was now I was in charge of getting the stove on, getting the dinner cooked, and this is me. This is the day after. This is how things can change in 24 hours. I was cross, just a warning. Not a happy bloke at all. Just because I've had a really tough day, I hadn't eaten enough, I hadn't looked after myself enough, so that whole day was really tough. This is the view I had, getting to the South Pole. The Americans are peace at the last 2 miles, so anyone American here? If you are, thanks very much. Thank you for fixing that, that's good. This is the American base. For sure, I don't know if any of you know, but it's a massive scientific base. 170 people all year round are stationed there. Lots of different work going on. That could be a question later on. So I was expecting to see a flag, okay? But there was a huge scientific base, we had a tour of the base. And that's the one biggest memory for me is, in Scott's journals, he says, Bowles sees a tent from 15 miles away, okay, the day before. He sees a tent, and so, you know, sees black dot on the horizon. The day before, 15 miles away, I saw a black dot on the horizon, and it could have been 100 years away. I really could have been there with Scott. That's my biggest relationship with him, really. So you go to the South Pole to do some funny photos. So there we go, this is the ceremonial South Pole here. This is where you get all your fancy photos. These are the 12 countries who set up the Antarctic Treaty. The last day we skied for 14 hours, so we are absolutely exhausted, but running on adrenaline now. This is the geographic South Pole. So a quote from Scott there. The pole, yes, but under very different circumstances from what expected. Obviously because he was the second person there, armies and the beaten to the South Pole. You always have to get a flag involved. The Americans always have to get a photo, don't they? The American way. So this is, I arrived at the South Pole, time to phone my parents. I'm still alive, I've got all my fingers, I'm absolutely fine. This is me phoning my parents. And then I realised I hadn't eaten properly for 2 weeks. I mean, what can this kitchen serve me? They gave me strawberries and cream, and I had 4 bowls of strawberries and cream. And I still love it, I still eat it all the time, such a good memory for me. So, if you got to the South Pole, how would you celebrate? Would you go and have a drink, or how would you personally celebrate? But I wanted to do something quite different. We got back to base camp, and we thought, let's build a massive igloo. Let's make it absolutely huge. And this is what we came up with. This fitted 50 people, this igloo. It took us 3 days, okay? We had a chainsaw. I don't know how my arm wasn't cut off. Very, very dangerous, but at the time it just felt fun. This is me there putting on almost the final height here. That's how I celebrate it, building a massive igloo, and I'm quite proud of it, so I'm going to show you another photo of it. I slept in it for one night as well, which was quite nice. And this is base camp here. And so, going back to myself, so as Jack has said, I'm the Global Ambassador for Plymouth University. Currently I'm doing talks across the world about Antarctica. And the idea is to inspire the ISCE students, and almost become a role model for all these kids. There's an idea of a book, some TV programmes, and Day Telegraph registered in some articles. This is just some, if you want to send me an email, if you want to look at my website, Magnificent Ocean, there's more information about myself. And hope you've all warmed up now, and thank you much for listening.